I'll suggest the shir tonight is going to be about the halacha about knowing the specific day of Sefira Sa'imer, the time when you make the bracha. Sefira Sa'imer. So Mechaber in Siman Tov Pei Tes Sif Hey says like this: someone does not know the cheshbon, doesn't know the specific day of Sefira. Upasach atayted l'sayim k'moish yishma mechaverei, and he starts off with the intention to listen to his friend counting the Sefira. V'shasak ashasham mechaverei v'siyim k'mayu yatsa, and he's quiet and listens to his friend count Sefira Sa'imer and repeats after him the proper day. Says the Mechaber, he's Yotze. So the Taz Medayik Lashon the Mechaber. He says Mashma b'di'evet. It sounds like the Mechaber Yotze. He sounds like Yotze. It was okay that you did that. However, Avol Chatchila Yivarich Ad Sheyil Bir B'Shas HaBracha Kama Tzarach Lisbar Achar Kach. Nearly says the Taz. The Mashma is the Lashon Shulchan Aruch would be that it's proper to know l'chatchila the day that you're about to count, and not just rely on listening to your friend and count after him. Many other achronim would like this as well. The Al Yerabah. Huh?
The friend making the bracha also, or just
you're both making a bracha at the same time, and then you're going to listen to him count the Eimer, and then you'll say it after him. The Chak Yosef, Al Yerabah, Shilazeisim, other achronim make this diak as well, that you should know that chatchila at the time of the bracha you should know. Now, as to why you have to know the chatchila, there are two different svaras going to the achronim. The Mishabura in Sivkan Chav Tes says, "Umikomak of the chatchila ein lo levarich elam ken yedea b'tchila eize yom hayom." Chatchila avada, you should know which day is today before making the bracha. Why? The aser lahafsik afilu b'shtika bin a bracha lahamitzvah yos mikdei divar. Since we know the halacha is that whenever you make a bracha on a mitzvah, you cannot be mafsik more than kedei divar, more than a few seconds in between the bracha and the mitzvah. Therefore, it says in Mishabura, when you make the bracha, you don't want that you're going to wait, then listen to him count the Sefira, and only then start, because you're going to end up being mafsik yos mikdei divar. And Sharatzian brings this halacha, this svara said from the Chai Adam. And the Shemur says that, according to this l'chayra, if you're not going to wait and hear the Sefira from your friend, and then say it yourself, rather you're going to say the Sefira along with him, listen as he's saying it and say milah b'milah, it shouldn't be a problem, because they're not going to be a hefsek yos mikdei divar. But he says that the lashon of the Taz is not mashma like that. Taz says l'chatchila lo yivarich ad sheyil bir b'shas habracha kama tzarach lisbar achar kach. Lashon of the Taz sounds like that you should not make the bracha without knowing what the day is, and even if you're going to repeat, say it along with your friend, that's not chatchila. So it seems like there's machlokes, the Taz and the Chai Adam, in this halacha, that chatchila you should know the specific day and the time of the bracha. Is it a din that we're worried that you're going to be mafsik in between the bracha and the mitzvah, or is it a din be'etzem? Is a din that you have to know at the time of the bracha what the specific day is? The Chak Yaakov on the Shulchan Aruch brings the Taz, and he says, "Aval olam nagu lahakol v'lismei chafilu lechatchila ulevarich ka'gavna al smach mashmish mechaver mashim mechaver." Chak Yaakov says the minig olam is to be meiko, that even lechatchila to make the bracha without knowing which day it is, and then you'll hear from your friend to say it after him. And the achronim are not happy with this minig olam to be meiko. The Pigadim says about it, it's right lechatchila to know, not like this Chak Yaakov. Sharatzian also brings Chak Yaakov says ein dvar mechuvar mazeh avada, you should know the time of the bracha. Shatzin says because we're afraid that you're going to be mafsik yos mikdei divar, you're not going to hear properly what he said, you're going to have to ask someone, you're going to be mafsik, and therefore you should know before you make the bracha which day is today. And the Kaf HaChaim also brings this Chak Yaakov, but he also says that it's not true, you're going to be mafsik, but he also adds on a kasha that the halacha is Chavar Paskin in Siman Reish Vav, Sefei, that lo yivarich ad shiriyeh lefanav. This is talking about Birkas HaPeres over there, and a person should not make a bracha on a food, on a drink, unless he has the thing in front of him. He's supposed to be holding it. But if a person, the fruit is in the next room, or it's not here, not around, person not make the bracha and then bring it in afterwards. It says the Kavachayim, similarly, over here, the same thing would apply. That without knowing the day of the Sefira that you're about to count, is doimit to not having the food in front of you at the time of making the bracha. So Kavachayim also sounds like that it's not a problem of hefsek, but there's a Ikar Hadin, the time of the bracha, you have to know what the day that you're about to count is. So try to understand what the machlekes is. Why would you need to know at the time of the bracha? What the Chai Adam, who sounds like that you don't need to, what does he hold? So Shulchan Aruch in Sivav, the next sif, he says in Pasach va'omar Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam adaita delema hayoyim arba'a. The person starts off, he makes the bracha Sefira Omer, thinking that the day is the fourth day. Then he remembers that today is actually the fifth day, and he continues with that. Das. Or Ibcha says the Mechaber, the opposite case, it's really the fourth day. And he starts with the intention to say Arba. And then in the middle he switches and he makes a mistake, thinking that it's really the fifth. Does not make a bracha. So two cases, either he makes the bracha starting out thinking that it's the fourth, and then he remembers it's really the fifth, and continues with that. And the second case, where he makes the bracha thinking it's the fourth, and then he makes a mistake in the middle and changes to thinking that it's the fifth, even though it's really the fourth. Both these cases does not make another bracha. Now it's not clear from the lashon of the Mechaber, what does he mean? He was maskil and he's messiah. So the Mishnah Berurah goes with the understanding of a lot of Achronim, and he says that what the Mechaber means, v'tov v'sim ratzaleimar shasiper chamisha, meaning that you made the bracha thinking that it's the fourth day. Then after you made the bracha, you remember, no, tonight is really the fifth, and then he said the Sefira for the fifth day. So he's good. And the second case would be that it's really the fourth day. And he starts out, makes a bracha thinking it's the fourth. But then he makes a mistake and really says the fifth. It does not make a new bracha. So the Mishnah Berurah asks, brings a lot of achreinim, that's very shver. Bishlam in the first case, where he ended up saying the Sefira for the fourth day, for the proper day, so he doesn't make a new bracha, because even if he would never make a bracha in the first place, if he said the Sefira, it's Yeitzeh. But in the second case, where he made the bracha thinking it's the fourth day, properly. But then in the end, he was said the fifth day, and today is not the fifth day, it is the fourth day. So, l'chayer, he has to make a new Sefira, and he should make a new bracha. The first bracha was a bracha matala. He didn't end up saying the proper Sefira. But he should have to make a new bracha. And a lot of achreinim are chaylik and mechaber on that, and they say about they have to make a new bracha. Taz, however, understands the mechaber differently. The Taz says, what the mechaber means when he says that he started out with das of the fourth and finished off with the das of the fifth, it doesn't mean that he finished off by saying the Sefira. We're talking about the bracha the whole time. It means you started off saying the bracha, thinking that it's the fourth. And then in the middle of the bracha, he remembered that it's really the fifth, and he ended off the bracha with the intention to say the fifth. The halacha is, he continues and says the proper Sefira with that bracha. In the opposite case, if he started off the bracha in the right way, thinking that it's the fourth, and it is the fourth, and then he makes a mistake and ends off the bracha with the wrong intention, but then he remembers that he was really right in the first place, he does not make a new bracha now, rather he continues and says the proper Sefira for today. But says the Taz that the halacha would be that if you make the entire bracha, both in the beginning of the bracha and the end of the bracha, he had intention to count the fourth, and it's really the fifth, and then right after he finishes the complete bracha, he remembers that it's really the fifth. Says the Taz, he has to make a new bracha. He can't just count the fifth, the proper day of the fifth, with the bracha that he made with the intention to count the fourth. He has to make a new bracha and start over again. That's the sheet of the Taz. And the Taz brings two rayas to that. just going to say one of them. Taz brings a raya from, also from Sun Reish Vav, and the Halachas Berkas appears over there. And Sevav over there, the Shulchan Aruch paskins, that if someone has a fruit in his hand, he makes a bracha, and then before he has a chance to taste it, it falls down out of his hand, and it gets lost, it gets nimas, and he's not able to eat it anymore. He has, and now he's coming to eat something else, he has to now make a new bracha, and he can't use that bracha that he made on the fruit that he dropped for the food he's going to eat now. So says the Taz, the same thing would apply over here. If he made a bracha with the das to count the fourth day, and then after the bracha he remembers that it's really the fifth, and he has to count the fifth, so that's like he was holding on to a fruit, he was holding on to the fourth day, then he dropped it, he realized that, no, that's not really what I want, and he's about to say the fifth. But the problem is that bracha was with the intention of the fourth, that he dropped, and now he has to make a new bracha for the fifth day of the Eimer.
When the food dropped, let's say you picked up the same type of food, just an apple, you have to make another bracha.
But there are definitely placing the whole that even there. Yeah. So that's the Taz D'Raya. Mr. Mishabur brings a lot of achayim that are chaylik very strongly on this Taz. That if he remembers before he does say the proper Sefira, that if he has to say the fifth, even though his intention at the time of the bracha was to say the fourth, he is allowed to say the proper one. And even if he said the wrong one, if Teich L'Dibur remembers that it's really the fifth, he should just say the fifth with the bracha that he made before. And
if I count on the fifth without a bracha, I make a new bracha and count again. In that case, I ended up counting the right day, right? Why would I make a new bracha afterwards?
In the case of the Mechaber?
Case where you had in mind the fourth, and then
mind the fourth, and you
No.
end up counting the fifth.
Right, that's the Mishabur's kasha. That's why he says that a lot of achayim are chaylik on it. But the Taz is understanding that it doesn't mean you counted it. It means you remembered in the middle. Right? In the case of the Mechaber is that you remember the middle of the bracha. Right? If you made the whole bracha with the das to count the wrong one, you have to make a new bracha, says the Taz. The Mechaber is talking about when I remember the middle of the bracha, and it's like pasach adayit the chamra. See, when adayit the shikra, then over there that savak bracha you don't make a new bracha. So Mishabur brings a lot of achayim that are chaylik on this Taz. And in terms of the raya of the Taz from Reish Vav, from dropping the food, says the Mishabur, the Maimon Mordechai, is match the raya. Look over there, he says that it's not a raya. Because over there, the pshat is you're holding on to a food, you have it in front of you, and you're making a bracha on this food. And then before you have a chance to use the bracha that you just made, the food drops out of his hand and he lost it. So therefore the halach is you have to make a new bracha if you want any more food. But over here, says the Maimon Mordechai, even if you know the right Sefira Sa'imer, let's say I know tonight's the fifth, you make a bracha intending to say the fifth, you don't have anything that's here, tangible, that I'm holding on to, that I see in front of me, to say that the bracha is being chal on that thing. The bracha is not on this specific day of Sefira Sa'imer, says the Maimon Mordechai. The bracha of Sefira Sa'imer is that I'm making a bracha, thanking Hashem for giving us a mitzvah of Sefira Sa'imer, b'chalal, and then I'm going on to count what's today, the specific day of the Eimer. But the bracha of Sefira Sa'imer is not on the specific day. You don't have anything here in front of you to be able to say that the bracha is michal on this and then I lost it. So therefore, it's not a raya from Berkas HaPeres over here. So l'chayra, according to this, we have a kshmak understanding of the machlekes, the Chai Adam and the Taz. The Chai Adam who said that the only problem of not knowing the day when you're making the bracha is because we're afraid of a hefsek. Meaning, there's no din specifically that I have to know at the time of the bracha which day it is. He holds, like the Maimon Mordechai said, that the bracha of Sefira Sa'imer is not the pshat that I'm making a bracha on this specific day. I'm making a bracha on the mitzvah of Sefira Sa'imer. And I know that I'm about to do the bracha, I'm about to do the mitzvah of Sa'imer. The specific day that I'm going to count, that's the mitzvah that I'm going to do. But I don't have, the bracha is not bichal on the specific day to have to know at the time of the bracha which day it is. So therefore he says the only issue that you have to be worried about is the issue of hefsek. And that's what Mishabur says, according to the Chai Adam, l'chayr should come now, that if you count along with your friend and you don't have a hefsek, it wouldn't be a problem. The Taz, however, who the Mishabur says sounds like that there's an ikr din, and it's before in the next Taz, that the din is you have to know chatchila, the time of the bracha, which day it is. The pshat is he held the shitasa. He held that it's danger to the case of birach ala pri v'nafel miyada, dropping the fruit, because the bracha is on this specific day of the Eimer, and if he had in mind, and if he doesn't know which day he's making the bracha on, that's a problem. So that would be a geshmak ataych. But I saw someone who wanted to say that maybe you could say a little bit differently, maybe in the Chayadam, because the geshmak hakira in the Mechaber, in that case in Zefei, right? The Mechaber says, he doesn't know which day it is, and he makes the bracha with the intention to listen to his friend counting, and then count after him. So does Mechaber mean specifically that case, that he's intending to listen to his friend and repeat it after him, or that's just the shkiach case, that a person is going to make a bracha without knowing the day? If he's not just going to say the bracha and then be quiet, right? He has to then get the information. So the pshat is he's going to say, okay, I'm going to listen to my friend, and I'll repeat after him. Or does he mean, no, it's dafka when he's intending to listen to his friend say it, and then count after him? In that case, the Mechaber says he yaitze. That would be the chakira. Now, this is, Chayr comes out from the Pri Chadash, L'chayr is mavur, a little bit of complicated kasha on this halacha, but he's mavur, that there is a difference between the two things. There's a difference between stam making the bracha without knowing the day b'chlal, and if he's specifically having in mind that I'm going to listen to my friend and repeat what he says in the Sefira. And then afkamina, maybe in this chakir would be, according to the Taz's halacha you said before. The Taz that said that he learned of the Mechaber Tzevav, that if a person will make a bracha on Sefira Sa'imer, thinking that it's day 4, and then he remembers right after the bracha that it's really day 5. The Taz says the halacha is that he has to make a new bracha and count the 5th day. So what would be if Ruvain is listening to Shimon's bracha? Ruvain is making a bracha, and he's planning on listening to Shimon make a bracha, and then Shimon's going to count, and Ruvain will count after him, like the case we started out with, right? But let's say he listens to Shimon, and then it's nisbar right after they make the bracha that Shimon really made a mistake in the day, and he says the Taz, Shimon for sure has to go now and make a new bracha. The question is, what about Ruvain? Ruvain was listening to Shimon and was planning on repeating after him, but once he realizes that Shimon really had the wrong day in mind, would Ruvain have to now make a new bracha and count the proper day? Or once he knows the proper day, just count it with his bracha? If you say that the Mechaber is just saying a regular shrichtika case of why someone would make a bracha without knowing, so then in this case, look how you made a bracha, and then as long as it's not mafsik, just go and count the regular day, the proper day. But if it was specifically in the case the Mechaber wanted that he's being toila daita b'das acherim, meaning that we're gonna consider it that when I'm making the bracha with the intention to listen to you count the Sefira, it's as if what's in your das is in my das, because I'm being toila in you. So that if what comes out that your das was a wrong das, then maybe you could say that in my bracha also that had the wrong das, and the Taz would say that both of them would have to make a new bracha. That maybe would not. It's could be not muchach, but could be that could be not upon him. Lefi this the kuda that comes out of the Pri Chadash was mavur. Again, there's a chilik between not knowing b'chlal the day and being toile b'das acher, meaning intending to hear it from his friend and then say it after him. We could say that maybe this person wanted to say that could be the Chay Adam really is also maskim to the Taz that there's a din be'etzem to have to know at the time of the bracha what the specific day of the Eimer is, right? There's just he holds that in terms of that halacha, I could be toile b'das acher. I could say this that I'm relying on my friend, I'm listening to him say this Sefira Eimer, it will down that it's as if what's in his das is in my das, and that takes care of that ikar din to know the Sefira at the time of the bracha. Even though it's considered that when I'm being Shemir Chaverai and going to repeat after him, that I have the proper kavanah at the time of the bracha, still, says the Chai Adam, we're worried about a hefsek in terms of Yeshu Gedibur between the bracha and the mitzvah. A lot of other shaylas, if a person has to know the weeks also at the time of the bracha, other times tend the chacham yachkamay. But l'mayis the halacha is chatchila, a person of Ada should know at the time of the bracha which day He's counting. I think it's very prevalent nowadays. I guess these text reminders, different apps that tell you what it is. You just make a bracha, and then you look at it. You don't necessarily even know before. The halach is different, proper l'chatchila to know before. Shkaya.
So he should have been a Taz's Raya from Nafal.
Right. Yeah, the shmak is there.